Hey, it's Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. I am inside right now because it's about 5 degrees outside. Spring's a little bit slow coming. Today's the 23rd of March. Okay, I want to give you an update on what's happening and where the case is right now. Before I do, I want to give credit where credit is due. There was a letter that came out from the Attorney General's office where Mr. Schuette acknowledged the fact that the performance that Harold Martin put on in the courtroom on the 26th was way out of line, completely unprofessional, and not the type of performance that is expected from an attorney that works for the Attorney General's office. And I think that's an understatement. And so I've got to give Mr. Schuette praise for that, for acknowledging that. So, attaboy there, Bill. Attaboy. However, I believe that he fell short in that letter because there was no apology. There was no apology to me and my family, the way that I was treated by Hal Martin. There was no apology to the people that were in that courtroom. And I find that a real tragedy because a lot of those folks were senior citizens that came out that day to see the process of justice, happen. These are people that have laid the groundwork for this process to happen. These people have paid their dues to this country. And then to have a member of the Attorney General's staff come out and chastise them and actually challenge them to some sort of confrontation in the court of law, I thought that was, I've never seen anything like it. And I thought it was so far out of line. Anyway, there was no apology to them. And then, thirdly, there was no apology to the court. If Judge Fagerman were sitting on the bench when that happened, it wouldn't have gone very far. And I don't think it would have even happened. I think Hal Martin did that because the judge was still in his chambers. I don't think he would have done that in front of the judge. So it's still the judge's, that was his court. And then to do that behind his back like that, I thought was despicable. And it brought discredit down on Judge Fagerman's court, and I think he's due an apology too from the Attorney General. The next thing is, as a leader, what you do when you have someone that works for you that does something like that brings such discredit down on your office, you immediately take action to have them removed. And they have failed to do that. Mr. Schuette has failed to do any disciplinary action to Hal Martin at this point. And you do that because you want to send a clear message to the other attorneys that work for you what their job is. And their job is to serve the people of Michigan, the people that pay their salary. And that isn't being done. Anyway, that's just my comment there. And when you all are calling down to the Attorney General's office, that is the way leadership works, and I truly believe that they don't understand that down there. Okay, the next thing is our case. As you remember, the judge dismissed the case. They dismissed my suit against the DNR for clarification, and he did that because they dropped their countersuit against us. They dropped their countersuit, and Mr. Martin in that court said that the invasive species order, the ISO, does not apply to my pigs. Our attorney said, you're surely aware that his pigs are Russian hybrids, and yes, we know, but they don't apply to Mark's pigs. So my pigs, I guess, have the bloodline in them that is A-OK with the DNR, or that's the way it appears. So we're going to press on with business as though that were the case, and thank you very much for that, Harry. Today we sold our first 2 pigs live out of here since April 1st, 2012. We've sold some that were dead. We've been slaughtering them right along on the farm and selling them private to other folks. But these are the first 2 that have left live. So we're back in business. It is springtime, and my pigs are getting ready to farrow any day now. And we are back in business. So folks from across the nation that are looking for very high quality pigs, wiener pigs, Weaner meaning a pig that's just been weaned from its mother, 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how well they're doing. If they're doing really good, we'll pull them at 6 weeks. If they need a little bit longer, we'll leave them. And these pigs are neutered, so they can be fed out. And if you get a pig in the April, May time frame, and you feed it all summer and fall, and you feed it really good, you can get up to about 250 pounds by December 1st, and that's a perfect time to butcher a pig. No flies by then, and there's certain things that happen when an animal is going into the wintertime. Their fat will migrate into the muscle for immediate use, and so you get marbling, and you get a really nice quality meat that time of the year. So it's perfect to do that. And these pigs make a good homestead pig. They have plenty of fat on the back that can be used for a lot of cooking and baking. Very, very good pig. Nice red-meated pig. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, you can contact us at Baker's Green Acres at Yahoo and put in a reservation for a pig, and we'll put you on the list. Okay, as far as the case goes, we have the option of appealing the judge's decision. I personally don't like the decision, although it works for me and I can go back in business. I really wanted the Department of Natural Resources to have to, in a court of law, explain the declaratory ruling. I wanted them to explain curly tails and straight tails, and also explain other characteristics not currently known. And I really wanted an explanation on the fact that they are saying that we have a huge feral swine problem in the state of Michigan. And I brief lots of pretty good sized crowds about this, and I always ask, is there anybody that's seen a feral swine? And I have yet to get a hand come up and say, I have seen one. I had one woman that said she had an Uncle Tony that saw one when he was deer hunting back in 1989 or something foolish like that. But it turns out she worked for the Attorney General's office anyway, so we just have to discount anything that she said anyway. So and so I'm not getting any reports of feral swine. So let's talk about that for a minute. I want to make this point. The Attorney General is supporting an organization, the Department of Natural Resources, that has said that we have between 1,000 and 8,000 feral animals running around the state. Okay? The Department of Natural Resources has lots of people who are paid good salaries because they're smart people, I guess. They've been to college, and they know their career fields. Okay, so if they come out with an estimation of 1,000 to 8,000 in an 83 county state, they've got to base that on something, right? Okay, how come nobody sees these animals? All right, was this just an oversight? Maybe there was 15 and they kind of pumped the numbers up to 8,000. Well, what does that really come down to? Is it just a kind of an oversight, No. What is it? It's a lie. It's a lie. And anytime there's a lie, you have to ask the question, all right, this has got to benefit somebody. Because you've got people at the Department of Natural Resources that are somehow coerced into carrying water for this notion of feral swine. By who? And why? And who benefits? All right, those questions are out there. But we really don't get to the point where we want answers for those questions until we really come down to the point where we come to grips with the fact that a lie has been told to the public. All right, a lie. You have been lied to by the Department of Natural Resources. Further, when the Department of Natural Resources is on me for 2.5 years, they see to it that I get a $700,000 fine. They threaten me with felony arrest. But then 10 days before our court case, before our trial, where they have to give an account for things like 8,000 feral swine, they drop the case against me. And they just want to walk away quietly like, yeah, we didn't, no big deal. We still need to get to the bottom of this, in my mind, and I think so in your mind too. So we just don't want to let this ride, and we're not letting it ride. We're just weighing, right now we're weighing our options to get to the truth the best way. There's things going on behind the scene that I really can't discuss here. It'd take too long to really get those out and make you understand that. And plus, some of it's kind of confidential too, so I don't want to disclose that. However, we have the ability to go to the appeals court, state court of appeals, to appeal the judge's decision. What we are appealing is, we don't believe that there is no conflict. We think that there still is a conflict, because the Department of Natural Resources came out 2 days after and said, if Baker has illegal pigs on his farm, we're coming for him. But in 2 days prior in the court, Hal Martin says, we're not going to come after you. So he didn't say he's not going to come after us. He said that the ISO does not apply to my pigs. And we were kind of like, why did it apply yesterday but not today? And they said, because we say so. And that's kind of their attitude towards the whole thing. So that's why we feel as though it needs to go to court, and they need to stand before God and country and give an account for straight tails, curly tails, and the lack of feral swine in the state. So we're not happy with it, but we're going to sell pigs anyway. The other thing is they've done a great amount of financial damage to our farm, and that has to be dealt with in a court of law too. So we are going. I mean, people are asking me, "Aren't you going to sue them?" And well, yeah, we're gonna have to do that at some point to rebuild this business. However, we feel as though we need to have the declaratory ruling buried before we reinvest our time in a business that 2 weeks from now they could show up and say, well, your pigs are illegal today. So we'd like to get that nailed down. All right, our legislators have been very helpful to us, the ones that are engaged on it. Some of them, they don't really even know that this is going on. There's a lot of issues that they deal with all the time. Legislators really are pretty decent people, and I think that one of the things that we've overlooked as a body here is contacting our legislators and giving them, an attaboy. And I can name 4 guys right now: Darwin Bohr, Senator Casperson from the UP. Let's see, Representative Daley, he's from over in the Thumb someplace, and Representative McBroom, he's from the UP as well. And they've been really helpful with us. I mean, they've really picked up the torch and ran with it, and just brought good sense to this argument. And they realized that we didn't get our day in court, and that the DNR has played dirty pool on this, with the help of the Attorney General's office, of course. But I want to encourage you to call your representative and call your senator and either praise them or ask them to please get involved and come down on the side of the citizen with this. It would be good thing for them to do. Okay, well, I'm at 13:38 right now. Let's call this quits. This is Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Have a good day. Remember, anyone can farm.